How many of you know what Waze is about? If you don't, okay, you're in the right track then, because the next session is discussing on EENA and Waze project results. So I'll leave it to the next panelist.
Perfect. So I think we can get started. Hi, everyone. My name is Alfonso Zamarro, and well, welcome to the Waze session. So a year ago, EENA partnered with Waze to launch these pilot projects. And well, here we are now today to really see the results after a year. So here with me, we have Markus Kaufmann from Emergency Communication and Coordination Center from Lower Austria. We have, oh, wait, we're missing someone. Oops. Colum.
Was out for a drink yesterday.
Yeah. Are we starting very early? No. We're on time. Well, yeah, he will come over. David Maillefaud, from he's operation manager from the Fire and Rescue Service of Vienne department in France. And Eric Rodriguez, from head of research and innovation, Fire and Rescue Service of Bouches in France. And finally, we have Avichai Bakst, who's director of business development at Waze. So, well, let's just start, Avichai, with you. Can you tell us a bit more about Waze? So, who you are, what you're doing, especially for the people who are not that knowledgeable about what you're doing, and a bit give us some insights as well on what this pilot project is, what it consists in, etc.
Sure. So, good morning, everyone, and thanks for coming to our great, humble panel over here. As mentioned, what we're going to do today is talk to you a little bit about Waze, Waze Connected Citizens Program, for short, CCP, and about the case study that we've done gratefully with EENA from last year and presented today. So as you asked, how many Wazers, first of all, in the audience? Wazers? Great. So as you know, Waze is today the largest crowdsourced navigation and traffic app worldwide. We have over 100 million active users. These are monthly active users. They've all downloaded, activated, and registered to the app. They all use it bi-daily, and most of them are commuters driving from work and home. Not that they don't know the address or the route, but they don't know the best route for that given morning. As we know, it's a dynamic road out there, and things change daily and everlastingly. So we have a community of users, and we're all crowdsourced. So basically, all you have to do is drive with the app open, and you're already contributing back to the community. And you passively contribute. We translate that to real-time updates, and we have these real-time updates from their everlasting community. So that is what Waze is, established 9 years ago. 4.5 years ago, acquired by Google. However, we're kind of a separate entity, and we function with our own roadmap and our future settings. That said, about 4.5 years ago, we created a program called CCP, short for Connected Citizens Program. And we understood the necessity of real-time updates from our community to real first-time responders in crisis areas. So there's a short video that I'm going to show you right now with a very nice voiceover, nice images. Right after the video, I'll be able to deep dive a little bit more into what we've been doing, etc. So.
Welcome to the first Cities of Tomorrow Summit at Waze.
This partnership program is kind of a living lab. It is about how technology and humans come together and everyone participates in making their own environment better.
CCP is about taking all the data and all the technology that we have at Waze and making it available for cities and for government to benefit from it. It's about enabling better mobility empowered by data and technology.
If we can have more than 500 partners representing 2 billion people around the world doing these pilot programs, and then sharing the results back with everybody else, then what you have is a smarter, huge network of cities that can be learning from each other much faster.
We're in New York City, center of the hustle and bustle, with seaports, airports, and tunnels and bridges that connect New Jersey with New York City. Waze has been very instrumental in helping us out. Waze is able to get real-time information out to the traveling public with real-time information. We have an aging infrastructure, and as we rehabilitate all these tunnels, bridges, airports, our challenge is to keep traffic moving quickly and efficiently. That's very beneficial to us and the traveling public.
I'm Peter from the city of Ghent in Belgium. I work at the transportation department. In April this year we have been implementing a new sustainable urban mobility plan where we have been changing 90 streets of driving directions and a couple of thousand of signs all in one weekend. So the very exact moment the plan was launched, Waze was up to date and was 100% correct, and that was still due to the mobility community.
My name is Anna and I'm working for the Latvian State Road. We have lots of roads, but not so many people. So the biggest challenge is how to explain to the people where the congestions will be and which ways is better to use. Waze is the best way how to communicate with drivers, to tell them about the road constructions, about events and such things.
My name is Etienne Pichot-Jamon, and I work in the European Metropolis of Lille, which is a small local government in northern France. The city is Lille, but in fact it's a group of 90 communities, and 1.2 million inhabitants live there, and it's known because it's a crossroad between several large cities in Europe. There are thousands of people coming from many places, and we have many motorways around. Managing the traffic in this tense situation is one challenge for us. We have many things to analyze the road situation. We have sensors, we have cameras, but we don't have this equipment on all of our roads. But we have Waze users on 100% of the roads, and it's an amazing source of information, private source information. Waze will help us to understand how it's working.
A smart city is a city that succeeds in taking the citizens' feedback in consideration about how a city should be organized.
The topic of data as infrastructure and the future of mobility has become such an important issue that more and more cities want to join. The only way is to have these conversations as widely as possible with all kinds of people at the table. Not just tech people at the table, not just government folks at the table, but the citizens at the table. We have a lot to look forward to. It's a very exciting time, and we just need to go build it.
All right, so that kind of sums up what CCP is, but once again, in a nutshell, maybe we'll go a little bit back how it was born. So about in October of 2012, there was a catastrophic hurricane in the US, Hurricane Sandy hit Florida, and there was a shortage of gas stations. People didn't know where they can fill in fuel. The White House calls Waze and asks them to kind of update in real time where the gas stations are open. And then we can communicate it back to the community. And basically from there, we understood the necessity of creating such a project. So we kind of offer our solution for natural disasters, for urban mobility, and governmental projects. But then again, our main focus in the past time has been to first responders. And nowadays, first responders use the data of Waze from the eyes and the ears of the community themselves, the drivers themselves. They implement it in their interface, and they actually see in real time where the accident is. They arrive with this data to the place of the accident 4.5 minutes earlier than what they would have arrived without using our data. And this actually saves time, this saves lives, this could help a casualty get first aid in a faster way. That's the average of the time that we actually saw together, and this is what we offer our different partners. Today we have over 600 different partners worldwide. And the partnership with EENA that we started last year has kicked in, and happy to bring it back to you so we can actually deep dive into the results of the partnership that we've done.
Perfect. So now question for the pilot sites. So basically, What were your expectations when you were joining this project? So what was on your interest? So maybe we can start here, Eric.
Okay, actually the first interest was, first of all, have the opportunity to work with EENA and you, my friend, of course. We're very proud of that. You know, I work in Marseille, and Marseille is the most congested city in France. We have many accidents, a very big traffic jam in the morning, in the afternoon, the end of the day. So, because Waze is very popular in France, we have about 8 million users. So it's a kind of network. So we wanted to use this network to communicate with the public and give operational information in real time, particular. And maybe you don't know, but in France we don't have a calls location. So the easiest way to operate on accidents, it was to locate them through Waze. And hopefully we try to make drivers reduce their speed and maybe avoid second accidents.
Yeah, our expectation was, of course, the same. We wanted to know what's going on out there on the roads. Some of you maybe know Lower Austria. It's a pretty large area with not that much inhabitants. And our dispatchers are sitting in 4 centers in Lower Austria, and they just don't know what's happening out there. And this project was a possibility to get more information, what's happening, where are traffic jams, and also to react on this. For example, to decide if an ambulance car is maybe faster if it drives from an other direction than firstly mentioned. And yeah, that's what our main expectation was, of course.
I will try to explain you, but by advance I apologize for my very bad English, but I promise I am working on it. So it's the same for the information, but there was another idea. The experimentation with Waze was a real opportunity to grow up the group dynamic of the 112 operators team. Indeed, when Waze has given us the access to the reporting tools, the 112 operators have quickly understood the interest to communicate directly with the drivers. This is as easy as a game, and the result is immediately available for the 112 operators. It's great to be able to communicate with the impacted citizen to give them the good advices. And more for us, it was also a great opportunity to communicate with media about the capacity of our fire and rescue service to innovate with partners, with the new technologies, to increase the quality of our services.
Great, thank you. And as emergency services, what were your requirements really to launch this?
A few requirements, actually. We needed to have a tool very easy to use, of course, and quick to operate, and as much as possible free, of course. And no need to integrate to the computer aid dispatcher. This is why we use it through a website, and that's all.
Yeah, there's not much to add. For us, it was a main requirement to have all these things as automated as possible, because we have in a day about 700 events, and our dispatcher just doesn't have the time to sit there and tries to make a manual routing by putting in position 1 to position 2. Okay, that's not that fast. Then he tries a second routing, position C to position 2. So our main requirement was to have all these things automated.
So, quick pause here. So welcome, Colum, Donnelly. So
hello.
You can have a seat.
I'll take a seat with you.
Great. Colum Donnelly, he is Assistant CAO from Lombardy Region Emergency Response Agency in Italy. And he will be joining as well the conversation as one of the pilot sites. So we can...
Yes, we wished to open to get the data from Waze to improve our knowledge about the traffic condition, road close, incident, traffic jam, etc. Also, we thought it's a possibility to send to driver the advices about the accident emergency operation. And like I said, Eric, it's free and it's not a detailed.
Great. So, Colum, now that you're here, just quickly to start with, so what was your expectations about this project, and were there any requirements from your emergency service on what this tool should have?
Okay, hello everybody. When we started with the kickoff meeting in Milan in June last year, actually we didn't know exactly what to expect because Waze was already used by a lot of our drivers, ambulance drivers, and it was used on a personal basis instead of other tools. Almost everyone preferred Waze, so we already had a good user basis, and it was extremely warmly welcomed the idea of working with Waze in order to see how we could get things better, even on different levels. Closely with Beta 80, which is our CAD provider, we worked on full automation of feed of what we send and what we receive. So now we have this continuous feeding going on, and it's great because in our 4 operating rooms, our operators can see what's going on, and they have situational awareness, which wasn't that much real and in real time like it is now. So we're keeping on testing and seeing what is coming next.
Great. So could you share as well a bit more of the implementation of the project and as well maybe some of the challenges and limitations that you faced?
Yeah, well, in the beginning we started with only Milan PSUP 2, medical emergency PSUP 2, but as we have 4 EMS PSUP 2s in Lombardy region, which is made of 11 million people, we decided to extend to all the 4 PSUPs, and now we report accidents all over the region, and it made some difference even for users who can rely on the information coming from AREU. And one of the things we worked a lot on was understanding when are we going to quit the feed about one accident. And we've been discussing on which is the best time to stop feeding that information. And the best time was when the last ambulance was leaving the scene. So we removed the accident from the live map, and well, it's working. We had some technical issues because of the extreme automation, but we had really a lot of help from the Lombardy manager of Waze community. He was great, Livio Torta, really extremely helpful, and we sorted out all these issues which came along the way. It was lovely working with him.
Great, thanks. What about the other sites?
Actually, the main challenge was a human challenge because it's always quite difficult to make enthusiastic the PSAP supervisor when we experiment something because we experiment a lot. So when I started to talk about Waze, they say, "Oh no, once again, please no." But it's been pretty well, and they have seemed to be very interested because easy to use and quite efficient, actually. However, the main limit was that it's pretty difficult to activate the notification for each accident, because this is the mission of the supervisor, and they have so many missions in a day for each operation, so they have to think about notifying each accident, and we forgot some of them, of course.
Yeah, our implementation was the same thing. We had some minor technical problems, but also the Waze guys helped us to solve them. Our main problem, as you will see, yeah, there it is. Who shall I tell that I want to see the first page? Ah, okay. As you can, sorry, as you can see, this is our implementation, how it looks like for our dispatchers. It's just a simple Google map with also activated the traffic information. And our dispatcher has now the possibility to see all events that are happening. Within this project, we also implemented traffic information from other sources, such as the Austrian Automotive Club. You can see it here. The dispatcher has the possibility to select what he wants to see. Of course, Waze, the Automotive Club events, our own events, the Noordrefneu Niederösterreich events. He also has the possibility to activate the ASFINAG cameras. These are, the ASFINAG is the Austrian motorway operator, and we have the possibility to access all their cameras of the motorways. And he also can activate could you please go back to the second slide? He can also activate all the resources that are out there, all ambulance cars, all fire brigades that we have in the system and that are already dispatched. And that's what he can do here. The next slide, please. And this is then how it looks like. Here's the blue dots are all the ambulance cars that are out there. The red ones, the red pins with writing RD and FW and SP are our own events. The normal, regular traffic signs are are coming from the data source from the ÖMTC. And of course, the well-known pins from Waze are the Waze information, of course. And as you can see on this picture, there's also the major problem for us in Lower Austria. We just don't have really that great amount of users of Waze. So sometimes there are really holes in the information. The next slide, please. Okay, I'll come back to that later. These are the cameras on whole Austria. The user can click on a pin and then a pop-up shows up with the link to the camera, and then he's getting just a regular webcam link where he can see the picture. The next slide. The user also has the possibility to filter. He can filter for specific resources or specific events from our system. Also, it is possible to start this tool from our CAD system. So he has a button, and if he clicks on it, the traffic viewer starts up with a focus on this specific event and the resource. Next one. Yeah, and finally, he has, of course, more detailed information. If he clicks on a pin, he can see what's happening and going on in there. And coming back to our problem in the implementation, as you can see, this is nearly whole Lower Austria. The hotspot, I say, in the middle is Vienna, which we are sadly not responsible for that. But on the left-hand side, you can see an orange line, and this picture was taken on Monday, and there's a construction site currently. And as you can see, there's sadly no information from Waze that there's a traffic problem in there. And that's what our main problem is. We just have not that amount of users to inform us that there's a problem. We know that there's a problem because we have in this construction site about 2 or 3 events per day. Yeah, thank you.
Great.
For me, the limit, it's it is absolutely necessary to integrate Waze in a CID to get easily the work of 112 operators. And before, on the beginning of the experimentation, we studied and specified with the CID provider the functionalities which seemed operationally interesting. And during the standalone experimentation phase with the 1112 operators team, our CID supplier communicate with Waze and to take out the technical doubts, to execute the proof of concept, to develop the functionalities, and then to deliver the software version to us on the training CID. And after, I will show you the results in a short video.
Great, perfect. So, can you share with us some specific story as an example of how Waze is working for you?
Well, okay, then I start. That's no problem. Now, as we have this traffic viewer tool for us, the dispatcher, of course, has the possibility to look up what's going on out there. So he knows, possibly he's responsible for his area, and he knows there could be a problem in traffic. He starts up the tool. He has the possibility to look it up and says, oh, okay, there's maybe another ambulance car is faster to this event. And also, on the other side, the ambulance cars themselves, maybe driving on the motorway or something, on the street, and they see that there's a traffic jam, and they start calling our dispatcher, hey, do you know what's going on out there? How long does it take? Shall we take another route or something like that? And what we also do is send data to Waze, of course. We made a filter in our CAD system. We are using EMPDS from, I don't know. We are using EMPDS, and if the result says that there's a car involved in the event, we are sending this data completely automated to Waze, so all the Waze users out there know that there's an accident. And the second thing what we are sending is all events that happening on a street. So every time somebody gets a heart attack or something like that on a street, located on a street, the data is sent to Waze, and the Waze community is completely automated, informed about that.
A story. One of the most amazing things we found was that in Italy, you shouldn't laugh because we have the best food in the world.
No.
I'm taller.
After France.
Well, it's a head-to-head with our French friends. Okay, I'll accept a head-to-head. Okay. Now, when we started the project, the thing was that in the States, people were feeding Waze with accidents, for example, before calling 911. And this surprised me because, well, I don't think it should work like that, but okay, it's fine. What we saw in Italy is that people call 112, a lot of people, a lot. And very less people do update Waze on accidents. A lot on traffic jams, especially traffic jams, and road buildings, because there is this, I don't know, this spin about construction works, I don't know. But usually people, they first call 112, then maybe they put on Waze the report. And this is why usually we are first on the live map, signaling accidents. And this was shown in 110 reports I pulled out from raw data. And it was quite surprising because it's the opposite from the States. And it was fascinating. And we've been discussing why.
Yeah, I guess there's a differentiation when it comes to different cultures. Why exactly in the U.S. they call first the 911, or whereas in Italy they first update the map? I don't have I guess we won't know. Maybe a culture thing, maybe a mentality, but at the end of the day, both sources are good for us.
Yeah,
So I'm happy to hear that.
Yes.
It's not really a story, but just a detail. With Waze, you can notify an accident, but you can also notify a danger on the road. In France, you know, we have many forest fires, so most of the time when we had forest fires near roads, we use Waze to indicate it.
Great.
Yes, it's a good story, like said Eric, in summer. Then last summer, during a day with a lot of traffic because it's the holiday, during a bushfire on the motorway Median Strip, the 112 operator reported the incident information and asked the driver to slow down, information of smoke on the road and information of rescue team on the way. This action decreased the number of calls received on the 112 PSAP. Because the driver knew that the rescue team are on their way, so it wasn't anymore necessary to call 112. It's a very good, useful, which wasn't expected.
Great, thanks. So now a question for the pilot size, but as well for Waze. So basically, based on all of this experience, what are the conclusions that you get out of the project?
So for us, it's super clear and very precise. The more partners and the relevant partners that we have, the wider range of users we're reaching. Nowadays, we have, as I mentioned, over 600 different partners. So we're reaching a wide range of close to or over 2 billion people. So at the end of the day, the more partners we have, the higher liquidity we have, the more accurate our information is, and easier for us to dispatch these first responders. So. And for us, it's much beyond saving time for people. It's actually arriving to the crisis zone faster. And it could be a pothole that creates an accident. It could be a road construction. And of course, God forbid, an accident with 2 vehicles or whatnot. So for us, it's very clear that this is a focus for this project called CCP. And we're proud of it and happy and to have these kind of partners with us. And these beautiful case studies just prove that what we're doing is the right way and where we're focusing these days.
For us, it's quite clear. The main conclusion is don't be afraid. You can use Waze very easily. The only thing is you will never be sure your notification will be considered by drivers. But this is the most likely, actually. And do I have to talk about recommendation or after? After. After, okay.
Yeah, for us, the same thing. The conclusion is use it. It's really easy. The Waze team helps you implement the whole thing. It's not that great amount of money you need to spend to build the interfaces and the things. What we found out was quite interesting. I made a comparison of events starting from January this year till Monday. I had time to do it on Monday. And there were about 3,000 events accident events that we had received from Waze in this time. And I made a comparison to our own events, which came into our system via the regular voice way, I say. And my filter was about, I took the point of the Waze event and made a radius of about 500 meters, I think. I don't know exactly. I think 500 meters. And also within 1 hour. And the amazing thing was that I found out that there are Waze events up to 30 minutes earlier in the system than the voice call in our system came in. So we really should think about it, why this happens. Maybe one reason is, of course, because some people just don't call primary the ambulance, just the police, for example, and we as Nord of Niederösterreich do not dispatch the police. So maybe the police comes there and then they say, oh, okay, we need an ambulance for that, and then they call us. This could be one reason. But of course there are the majority of events were about 10 minutes, and this is also, in fact, much faster than, no call.
I will repeat, but the real interest of the experimentation, for my mind, it is that the advice, like the rescue team is on the way, let free the access, or slow down when you arrive on accident scene, are sent only to driver are concerned, and this very easily. This is not the case for the other social media that we use also to communicate with citizens about the current emergency operation. It's a very great thing for Waze to send directly only the drivers.
When I started my experience as a Waze user, I was fascinated by the payoff, which was outsmarting traffic together, which I liked it very much, and this is why I switched from TomTom to Waze.
I like to hear
just
that.
for the payoff. What I believe is that Waze is another part of a more complete situational awareness inside our PSUPs, because information is the most valuable thing we have at PSUPs, and Waze give us information valuable and in real time. This is something we need to exploit and start thinking over and over and over, because possibilities are, well, almost infinite. And if I think about linking the potentiality of Waze with, for example, e-calls, which are inbound at the PSUPs, now we could get a lot of valuable information back to the citizens. And this is a perspective I like to think, and I would like to explore in the next months and years.
Great, thanks. So, David, you mentioned that well, you have some videos about implementation, so maybe we can actually go through it and you can tell us more about it.
Yes, let's go. This video is showing you the result of the integration in the CAD. And first, just to show you the situation of fire and rescue service of Département La Vienne in west of France. In fact, first the display of the Waze data on the operational map with fire station, area risk, hydrant, fire trucks and ambulance. And here there are 2 accidents notified by Waze. And you see the details of the accidents. After, it's possible to display the other Waze information, like road closed, or also the dangers on the road. Many road closed are notified on Waze by the community, and we are the link with the manager community is very great. And the display of the traffic jams or unusual traffic condition can improve the comprehension of the situation like this. And in a second time, in the CAD console, the accident is treated like the alarm. And a click on one in the list display the details. And the functionality allows the visualization on the map. To zoom on the map where the accident is. And it's possible to link the incident with a current operation, begin after 112 call, for example. And the link appear in the history of the operation. And finally, the Waze reporting tools functionalities like notification with advices are managed automatically by the CID. Even there are a few things to resolve yet with Waze. Now, the experimentation being positive, this version will soon be installed on the production platform, forget all the functionalities.
Great, thanks. And, well, quickly, because we're going to be running out of time soon, to the pilot sites, what would you recommend to other emergency services that would like to?
Mainly two recommendations. First of all, I think we need to identify clearly the logo of the emergency service, because when you're a driver, you don't have time, and you need to make the difference very quickly between any notification and the emergency service notification. So this is the first point. The second point is, I believe that if an emergency service creates an event, it must be able to cancel all notifications concerning the event when this event is over. Actually, it's not the case, because it's the community which cancels the event. Mm-hmm. That's all for me.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, my recommendation is, as I told before, use it, do it. It's pretty cheap. It's pretty easy to implement the whole thing. You get a good response from the Waze people, and integrate it as deep as possible in your CAD systems. For example, somebody maybe could use it for the routing itself, and yeah, it's a great positive thing for all the dispatchers and a great tool, I think.
Just a thing for me, with my feedback experience, the main advice that I can give you, it's this is a true project, and it's necessary to involve the 112 operators team as early as possible at the beginning of the project. Because the success depends to their implication. For them, it's a new practice which add to all that they have to do to engage the emergency rescue team. It's very important.
Now, final recommendations. We need historical data, because if not, we are not able to understand how effective is Waze as a tool. We need historical data, and we need something which is like the taxi. There is a thing that is the taxi function, so you can cut off all the main streets through taxi lanes. It's great, but ambulances can do far better, even police and fire brigades. So it would be great and beautiful to have special routes for emergency services and activable only by emergency services. This would be a game changer, absolutely a game changer. And the thing I loved most of the project is the interaction with the editors community, and that was really the best part as a human experience of all the project. And I think we should foster and study how we can interact, especially with local editors, because they are well, they are keeping the maps.
Yeah, they know better.
They are great.
Besides
really great.
these 100 million active users, we have these map editors, and they're a great contribution for Waze and for our partners. So happy to hear that they were helpful, and definitely increase this kind of partnership with them as well.
So much.
Very happy.
Thank you.
Great. And to finalize, so Avichai, can you explain us more how emergency service can actually partner with Waze?
Absolutely. So we're welcoming many more partners with us. So this is, first of all, this is my email. If anyone would like to get in touch and explain and describe about their organization, I'm more than happy to connect. Also, you can go into our portal, waze.com/CCP, and connect with us. So that's traditionally the way. And like I mentioned, we are looking for more first responder partners, and we do believe that this is the way to dispatch these emergency cars faster to the places of the incident and increase the partnership with them and help with our community and map editors and so on. So very simply, you can email me or through our portal, waze.com/CCP. Thanks for having us today. It was a great panel, and thanks for our great partners, and thanks to EENA for this whole organization and partnership and cooperation. I'm happy to be part of.
Great. So we are running out of time, so we can take one question from the audience. So anyone has a question for the panel? No? Okay, then we close it from here. So thank you very much, all of you. Oh, one question there.
It's Ben of Nagels from City His Company. I understand the use of Waze for PSAPs is free of charge. Can you, Mr. Waze, guarantee that it will stay like this for the next 40 years?
How many? 14? What happens after 14? So no public statement on that, but yes, actually there is. I could say that Waze is free, was free, and will remain free. Waze is a community-based solution, and we have no interest in monetizing this kind of application and distribution, meaning it's very easy to charge every user that we have. That's not where we're heading. We will remain free. And again, this is the contribution that we pay back to the users. Since it is a crowdsourced app, and we use the data of our great community, we feel that we're contributing back by remaining free and always upgrading and improving our app. So 14 years, you got it.
It's a record.
Yeah, a few records here, so yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So we're closing it now. So we have a coffee break now at the exhibition area. And by 11:30, you can come back here to the plenary session for the discussion on legislation updates and how it affects emergency services. Thank you very much. Thank you.